no commitment.
But Michael, you know, you had a great advantage, because listening to you, you came from a home where your mother and father got along and had a very good marriage.
Agreed.
And so you had a role model or an example to see, to learn what are the do's, don'ts, you know, what you're looking for. So that prepared you for the rest of your life.
Right.
But what happened to a lot of other people who don't have that role model, have that to look at, to
On either
compare.
side.
And they just fall in love and they hope for the best and they throw everything out there and then they
I
end
think
up.
it's a good point. My role model was at home, but there is always a role model out there.
Like
If
how
I
do you
don't have it
find
at home, there is somebody with a good relationship out there that I could model after.
Well, I
could
guess
look
that's
at-
why you need to have a dream.
That's why you need to know exactly
Yes.
what you want, what your dream is, what do you see as the relationship that you will enjoy. It cannot be one where you're being battered. It cannot be one where you are quarreling and it is dysfunctional and it's just a war zone. It cannot be that. You must have an idea of what sort of home that you want. And so therefore, you begin to look at who has it. There's a gentleman, a friend of mine, every lunchtime, he's a senior officer in the public service. And they've been married for years. He's approaching retirement, but every lunchtime I'm seeing him parked up by the beach with his wife. Yes, sir. They go, they eat lunch in the car, and they go back home. I admire that. I know that therefore that is one of the ways I want to pattern it. That was not at home, but I saw it. And we can see people, see the sort of relationship that they have, and we can mimic it.
So then are we saying that sometimes there are people we can learn from and get it right, but then why in a lot of instances they don't bother to take up the mantle and learn? What it is about some of the relationships that they're not willing to, they will look at questions, so why you have to take a thing every lunchtime? Rather than try to say, but you know, I'd like my relationship to be like that.
Well, maybe, Susan, there are people who want different things in relationship, who see successful relationship in a different way, and I guess it's according to the personality of the person. You know, okay, for instance, I would say I've been married for over 20 years, and to be honest, I am a people person, and I like the company of lots of people. You know, so that I'm not saying that my husband is boring, but I'm saying that I can't see him
every lunchtime.
Yes.
And on that note, we're going to take a short break. Be right back on Trinidad Style.
Okay. Welcome back to Trinidad Style and our very special guest, Mr. Michael Stewart. And we're talking about why relationships fail, be it business, political, personal, otherwise. And I think, Mr. Stewart, you're at this point in time giving us the 4 don'ts. But of course, before the break, we were very amused and by Gemma.
Take a
Gemma W. You know, explaining that whilst others may find cuddling moments with their spouses every day, Gemma likes to socialize, and you know that is what really makes her relationship work.
No.
And we can
With
see
many
that.
different people.
No, you're saying it's wrong.
I will allow Gemma.
Well, defend yourself.
To defend her position.
Yes.
Defend yourself.
Okay, all I'm saying is this, you know, it's all well and good to have these wonderful relationships where people love each other.
And they're tight.
And they're
Breeze
tight.
can't pass.
Yes, every day they
Right.
want to see the same person. They want to have lunch with the same person. They want to go to the movies with the same person for every day for the rest of their lives. Now,
That personally does boring, eh?
well, and I think that is where the problem arises.
Yes.
I think that's part of the problem in most relationships, because I think people
It's
don't
stifling,
admit, and I think people don't admit that, look, I really would like to go online with Susie today, you know. I would like to go online hang out with Gemma today, you know. But because, you know, it's routine and it's expected that I must have lunch with my husband today, well then, you know, I have lunch with him. But we live together, we love each other, but it doesn't mean that every single waking day, every minute, that I want to see him. I'm being honest, you know.
Mrs. Stewart, what are your thoughts on that?
Keep going,
Please?
Gemma, keep going.
Well, it brings us to one of the 4 reasons why relationships fail.
Oh, so is that a reason for the
Mixed expectation.
Okay, mixed expectations.
There's a gentleman that I know. Because he came from a broken home, his father wasn't around. When he got married, every day after work, he went straight home. You could time him.
But that's good.
He went nowhere without his wife. If she has to go anywhere, he drops her, he waits for her.
Mr.
Brings her back.
Mr. Michael, just hold your point. I just want to ask you one question. Do you know in the middle of all that in Trinidad, for instance, you know there are men who do that. They drop the wife home and so,
right.
and they have another wife around.
Yes,
Yes,
no. But in
routine.
this case, I have no reason to think otherwise. But this, because of what he came from, he wanted to be this type of person.
Okay.
But the woman he married to did not want that kind of life. She wanted him to have his own friends.
Yes.
Well, give her
Give her space. So she felt completely stifled by him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But he didn't talk about this before.
And
what happened there? Next expectation?
They never sat down before because he thought he was being the sort of man
that was expected. That was expected.
That was expected. And so he had good intentions. But she wanted a type of man that was able to give her space. She would be able to go out with her girlfriends and just pick up and go. She liked shopping.
But why did that not being unequally yoked?
Yes.
But why didn't that come up before they got married? How?
That's what I'm saying.
But you see, I think that's what he was saying. 15%, 85%.
Right.
Yeah.
That is why you sit down before. That's why I courted 4 years before I was married. And even coming up to the marriage, when we had already set a date and invited people, there were some things in my wife that I felt that I couldn't deal with. And we had agreed that we both must have a personality with the rest of our issues we can live with. But the major ones that we couldn't live with, we needed to settle them before. And I remember saying, hey, listen, we may need to postpone this or cancel it. Because there were some issues that were still showing up. You see? Because it is important that we got the expectations right. What I wanted of you.
You took marriage very seriously. And I think that too is another thing. People entering into a contract for their life.
Yes.
And they do a sort of quick honeymoon thing. And I mean,
but
you hooked up on 85%.
No, but Java,
I
don't think it's fair to say that people don't take it seriously. I think everybody, it's relative. Huh? I think it's all relative. I think
hear what he said. I don't hear couples saying
no.
that we need to talk about all these things before, even if it means
his approach is different.
Postponing
but
the wedding.
Java, that doesn't mean that the other people who are getting married aren't taking their relationship seriously. I'm saying that maybe they didn't know, or they don't know that they should have sat down before and walk through all the problems and then get married. But they could probably have all the feelings of love and everything and
good
feel
intentions.
deeply
about that. But good intention is not enough.
That's
good intention not enough. Because I was getting married so young, I did not go to university as yet. No, that is a factor that we had to cater before we got married.
So she went to university?
No, she did not go to university. But in order for me to go, I couldn't get married and just say, I will go. I'm now getting into a relationship and I needed to now make the arrangement. We both needed to make the arrangement. And I said, okay, if we get married, would I still be allowed to go to university? Because that is separation for a little while, yeah.
Allowed, okay. And you use the term allowed.
Yeah, okay. No. Okay. Because we are two equal partners in the home, right? And so therefore, I need, if I'm going to do something that impact on the relationship, on the family, I need to get her permission to be part of that. You see? And so she said, all right, if you so want to, how long we be talking about? And we sat down, we worked it out before. So we knew after we got married, how long we would have been together for before I move off into university and so on. And so we
This is going away from her?
Yes, because I studied in Jamaica.
Okay.
So
no, what you're saying is very good. Now, having done all that discussion before and putting all that on the table and get it all hammered out, you did mention that you all had some bad times.
Yes.
So, what led to the bad times after having cleared all that before?
Very good, I like that.
Because we are human beings, we will have bad times. There are certain things that we did not cater for. For example,
life.
Right. I did not recognize, and it's something that men go through. After I went through it, I started to label it. When my first child came along, I felt as though I wasn't a big part of her life. Every time she went into town, I'm sure Michael will love this, she would buy it. Her life was surrounding me, and that feeds a man's ego.
Yes.
It fed my ego. The entire conversation with her friends, Michael this, Michael that, and so on. All of a sudden, my son came along. And it is Joel. Joel is the name of my first son. Joel this. Joel will like this. When we go out, we got to go home because your mother must be, Joel must be keeping her up and so on. So we couldn't enjoy time together because she kept rushing home. It was everything Joel. And I started to feel
left out.
Yes, as though my son now became a trespasser.
How did you deal
And
with that?
many relationships fail after the first child. If you check, many people are not married to the father or the first child.
Now, what causes that as a man feeling that?
Insecurity.
Because we
you
are full
are
of
part
ego.
of the child.
We are full of ego, and we.
But it's your child.
Yes.
Yes, it is, and that is the strange part.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I want. Yeah.
Because
With
the
a
bond-
woman, the
bond
child
different.
is the more important thing. The picture is in her purse. The picture of the
bond.
child is on her desk. But with a man, the woman is the more important thing. His relationship with the child depends on the quality of relationship with the child's mother.
Wow,
Wow.
that is deep.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
deep.
that calls for a little break to digest, and we'll be right back here on Trinidad Style.
Yes. And we're back with Michael, and we're sharing some just very, very profound information, which I think we have not been privy to a lot on television, particularly. So I hope it's helping a lot of you all out there. So, Michael, get into those 3 points before we run out of tape.
The 3 points on
So much to
why
talk about.
relationships
On
fail.
why-
Well, we were
yes, on
4,
why
but we got
relationships-
one.
Right, but
Mixed
what are the other
expectation.
3 ones?
Second point is poor choices.
Poor
We-
choices.
Yes.
Poor choices.
What dictates poor choices?
Well, when we looking to select, you and I, we both have thousands of people to choose from. In Tobago, there are 55,000, 60,000 people. Let's say 25,000 are women. I have 25,000 options. In Trinidad and Tobago, 1 point something. I have
you chose
another.
a Tobago girl.
But I chose a Trinidad woman.
So he
But
widens
out
his
of 1
option.
point something million people,
Yes.
I have a choice. This is why I don't go about saying my wife is the worst woman in the world and so on. Because if I have a choice of 1 point something and I choose the worst,
Then that's what you
that's a
attracted.
reflection on me.
Of course,
Exactly.
you attracted her.
You're right. Quiet.
So you have to be quiet.
So I will not speak ill of my wife because I want to be able to come out smelling sweet.
Right.
I made a good choice.
Good.
And many times
That's
people
interesting.
choose poorly and turn around and blame the other person
For the choice.
Of the
for
choice.
the choice. As long as the relationship is consenting and voluntary, then that means I took responsibility for who I ended up with.
Good point. I must remember
And
that.
so
Good point.
when you choose this person, you must always be supportive of this person.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
because
Because
it's a reflection of you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ah,
So
okay.
therefore, her dreams, I need to support her dreams, and she needs to be able to support my dreams, because that is how we are able to build. I cannot get into my dream alone if I'm in a relationship with somebody else. I need the other person to be in it with me. But because we are all built to self-actualize, it's just like making love. I cannot make love and enjoy it myself.
By yourself. That's right.
Oh, God. Something back to the 5 choices.
No. The point about making love is that you get the satisfaction of knowing that you satisfy that other person.
Already?
Yes.
Fundamentally.
Ready for that?
Susie, are you okay? Susie's dancing in the corner there. Yes. No, but go ahead, that is profound.
Yeah, and so I need to know from my wife, what is it you want to achieve? What is it you wanted to do in life? And back, and I remember that when she did not, she wanted to pursue studies, but she always felt, hey, let me go first, let me do this. Why she didn't go to university, she wanted to do some subjects. And she was pregnant. And she kept, and I say, listen, hey, no, if you want to, she wanted to do accounts. If you want to do that, then that means there are things that I need to do. I needed to come home earlier. I need to help the other children with their schoolwork. I needed to do some more cleaning. I can't cook, but at least I could certainly put some butter on quicks. Yes.
So there was a partnership. The
Right.
Partnership is the thing.
Yes. And coming up to the height of her pregnancy, just before delivery, she passed her accounts. Now, what she feels over that, when a woman is